So right now, Vice President J.D. Vance is on a 4-day trip to India, where he'll meet with the India Prime Minister of the economy, trade, and geopolitical ties. It's big because, you know, we're looking for in trade. It comes as one Wall Street Journal editor suggests India could be poised to take a bigger role in U.S. trade amid Trump's tariffs on China. Hudson Institute senior fellow and foreign policy expert Rebeccah Heinrichs joins us now. Rebeccah, this is interesting for him to go right to India and then talk trade immediately, 24 hours after China is warning other countries not to make deals with us.
Right. India is going to be one of our key partners. India is a key partner for the United States to counter China. Just the stronger India is, the closer we collaborate, yes, on trade, but also as we collaborate militarily through the AUKUS arrangement with the Australians. That's going to be really good to slow China's aspirations to act aggressively throughout the region. Note that as President Trump has conducted these tariffs and now has a pause on our key allies and partners, China's been going on this charm offensive to try to get these other countries not to work with the United States, but to instead work with China. So very important to see Vice President Vance go to India to make sure that they are collaborating, talking, and looking to make deals.
And there's a big imbalance between the two nations, judging by the strength and depth in the economy. In India have potential, so things are weighted against us, so to speak. And we are looking to move manufacturing, some of it more logical to go from China to India, more than it is to go from China to America.
That's exactly right. So we want to get key things that are really crucial for American sovereignty. There's certain things that we only want to make in the United States. But then there are other things that are perfectly good to make in key partners with stable places that are reliable. India is a great one. Obviously, the European market's another great one for reshoring. But India, and they have a huge, high-skilled workforce. So when we think of semiconductors and other key manufacturing, there's lots of engineers in India. So Vice President Vance will certainly have some of those ideas in mind, some key things that he would want to move out of China and move into India.
So let's talk about Ukraine if we can. And we know on Friday, Secretary of State Rubio kind of stunned people when he said, we're getting tired of Russia and Ukraine not getting closer to peace. If we don't show more give on both sides, maybe I'm just going to walk away. I think that was a tactic. What do you think? Because then Vladimir Putin came out and said, let's just do an Easter ceasefire, which he repeatedly broke.
That's right. I think President Trump is still in negotiating mode. I think he's showing that, listen, like this could go a bunch of different directions. Russia has to make a decision. I think it was a PR stunt that Vladimir Putin made to have a ceasefire over Easter. There was no ceasefire. Even though the tempo may have slowed, Russia continued its assault against Ukraine. Ukraine defended itself. And so I think Putin is now saying, wait a second, don't walk away, because Vladimir Putin understands that he cannot keep carrying on this war forever. He's going to have to make a deal, and he's testing to see where those lines are with the United States and also with Ukraine.
Rebeccah, I think one of the big lures that Russia could have is you have a president who said, you stop this war, we agree to a ceasefire, and let's start trading right away. You know, get you off the, you're banned from the SWIFT financial system. We're not dealing with you at all. So start opening up trade so you can get a quick rehab on your economy. No other president would have given them that opportunity. But yet Vladimir Putin doesn't seem to understand the opportunity that he has. What am I misunderstanding?
No, I think that's right. I mean, the thing I think that drives a lot of traditional foreign policy experts kind of nuts about President Trump is he's very non-emotional, non-ideological when it comes to these foreign policy crises. He's perfectly willing to extend a hand to immediately get back to resetting relations with authoritarian countries if they change their behavior. He's also perfectly willing to go the other direction and really turn up the heat against these countries if they're not willing to negotiate. And so Vladimir Putin needs to understand that this is going to be the best deal he has with this administration. And the United States can still crank up sanctions, and we still can work with the Europeans to increase defense production, to get more weapons into Ukraine so that Ukraine can have its own domestic capability and continue defending itself. So Putin is going to have to make a decision and understand that this is not going to go on forever.
I just hope J.D. Vance slips in India, stop buying Russian oil or level off on it because they're buying the discounted oil. Trump put on Truth Social, hopefully Russia and Ukraine will make a deal this week. Both will then start to do big business with the United States of America. And real quick, we understand we're getting close to a rare earth deal, more important than ever now that China's holding back on rare earth that we need for our bombs and for our computers.
President Trump understands that rare earth is what the United States needs to be able to compete with the Chinese Communist Party. And so we need those rare earths in Ukraine. And to have the United States really in concrete terms have an interest in the security, the sovereignty, and the freedom of Ukraine is critical. And I think this rare earth deal is going to be essential for that, and also give the Ukrainians confidence that we're going to stick with them and make sure that they are secure, free, and sovereign.
All right, Rebecca, it's a tenuous time. You got that, you got the Iranian talks, as well as if Hamas is going to get sincere at all about releasing the hostages. Busy time. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Brian.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.